So, game number 1, best of 7. The previous best of 7 was freaking 4 hours. Now, I would say betting odds are not great on this being 4 hours, and that is because of the player in the blue. Hera, the favorite. Hera looked really good in his previous series against Lewis. You could make an argument that that was not an easy matchup compared to some other matchups in the prior rounds. But Hera does tend to make most players look very beatable. Hera's gone for the Gujaras here. Now, he's up against Barles. I think sorry. I had just almost mixed the word Barles and Burgundians and caught myself. But I think Barles is just consistently really underrated. Just really underrated by people. He's always around. He's always competing for the top. Now, the reason I think he's underrated is because he doesn't frequently get into the top 8. And maybe some other people do, but he's a great player. But unfortunately for him, he has run into Hera here. And if you look at the results of when these players have played, it has pretty frequently been Hera winning. I think Hera's style is very good against Barles. So Barles is going to need to cut some corners today, take some risks, and maybe have some strats up his sleeve. And I think that he's got a strategy here, which some people have tried, which could work very well. And that's going to be play into the Burgundians' Flemish militia. This guy right here, we've seen quite a bit of. And if you want to play Burgundians, you also want to be able to wall. And his map is pretty insane for the start. So if you wall here and then wall in towards the TC, you can protect all your wood, all your golds, and only your berries is exposed. Hera really doesn't have the same option here. So yeah, Barles has gotten some wins against Hera. A lot of people have been able to get some wins against Hera, but winning a best of 7, you have to be at a very high level and consistent over a really long set. And I really do think stamina is one of the best traits of Hera's gameplay, because he could just play for so long, and it feels like the exhaustion doesn't necessarily set in like it might do for some others. So, but yeah, one game at a time. We'll see how it goes. I think Hera will want to open for scouts here, but if I were up against the Burgundians with everything that I know right now, I would actually want to go for archers. Archers are just a really tough build for the Gujaras to pull off because you go for the mill, and then you delay your lumber camp, and so you can't just go mining camp now and still not have the lumber camp. So, Barles forward here. Dark Age Scout can't actually fight. It's a 50-50 battle if they were to both trade against each other in the Dark Age. In the Feudal Age is when Barles will want to avoid any of those engagements. Yeah, Hera, I think, showed in his set against Lewis a strong ability to be able to play all styles. Being able to play open and aggressive, being able to play kind of defensive. Depending on the map generation, you do need to have the ability to do both. I think Barles definitely has the ability to do both. But killing off Hera will be rather tricky here. So I would say maybe map position is going to be important here on this map. You have these hills spanning through the middle. So could see... It's not the most obvious siege push type game because those hills aren't directly next to player bases. But imagine a castle on this hill later. Look at all the golds around. Look at the stone there. A castle over here as well. Secures a lot of the map. And then, of course, the hill in the middle. Directly between the player bases. So, Hera's on the way up a bit faster. This is to be expected, because the Burgundians get that early eco upgrade. And they also don't have the sheep inside the mill. I'd really like to see Barles just wall this. There should be no real reason why Hera should be allowed back here. And like I said, I think his plan would maybe be some Flemish militia. It could just be archers. It's a good map for archers. Really what's exposed here is your berries, but if you just have to protect one area and the rest is protected with walls, that's amazing. Hera's scout will move forward, and you're just not expecting your opponent to have a map like this. He'll see the barracks, he'll find the berries over time, he'll find out, but he won't have the information. I like the draft for Barles because it's a risk. Like, and by that I mean not the strap, but the civ. Burgundians need to be able to wall. 50% of the time, you might be able to wall a little bit. And then the other 50% of the time, you're like, why would you pick Burgundians for Arabia? So he's gotten lucky here. It's, I think, the type of civ that you need to draft up against Hera. All right, so Hera is adapting this into an archer build. And going to the golds, going for his range. Camel will go run through here. He'll see the golds. He'll see the mining camp. He'll see the wood line. Over here, he was just being attacked temporarily by the scout and had to get a quick wall. But yeah, he was expecting the Flemish militia. Barles will do that, but Barles is getting Bowsaw so far. And there's the Flemish militia on the way. Barles saw the villagers on gold, is looking for the archery range, but the archery range is actually up here for Hera. I'm wondering if Hera will start to pull the sheep out. Some people will, some people won't. I feel like you should be pulling 1 or 2 of your sheep out and taking that and delaying your farms. Farms are obviously still good, but something to consider. It's just going to be a couple of these Flemish militia for Barles. And Hera hasn't exactly gone for a really fast build-up. He's been taking his time. He's been taking the more macro approach. Gets the house walls down. And he's expecting to be exposed on this side here. It'll be a little random here from Barles. We got a unit on this side. We got a unit on this side. But that randomness can be really good, but Hera, I don't think will move out for any extended walls until he knows where that army is. And he did pull 2 of his sheep out there, so we can delay some of the farms. Archer range now for Barles. I think this is good. Could play into skirmishers against the archers. And Barles looking around. Flemish militia comes in. Hera needs a quick wall. Last second quick wall. He gets it down. And Flemish militia coming from the other direction. But this is a lot of work for Hera. Obviously, he's doing a good job at it. But it's still an easier game for Barles to play just because of how easy this map is to wall. And Hera's been only defensive with those archers. Barles could just wall up. He doesn't need to rush upgrades. He can just take his time. And at the end of the day, a Flemish militia or 2 is not really that big of an investment when you have Bowsaw and when you have Horsecollar behind. So I like this position for Barles. Now Hera might want to aim for some type of a full wall. Like walling here maybe. Then walling the backside. But you're just sitting here thinking about defense. And then your opponent is going to be able to just boom up with a better economy. So it's kind of tricky. It does feel like Hera's build might give him a crossbow timing, though. Does anyone remember Hera played Gurjaras in another tournament? And he also went archer opening? And it was crazy castle age timing, and then he just boomed. Does anyone remember what tournament that was? There might have been multiple, but there's one in particular I'm thinking of. It was a bit of a different map. Because he had, there was, well, spoilers, but there was water in the middle. Maybe then you guys will remember. But it's sick. You utilize this pulling out the sheep, which I think people need to do more of. And then you delay the farms. Yep, still just sitting at home. Barles is taking a look. Barles needs to kill these archers. He wants to take a trade against these archers before Hera gets any upgrades. It was on Jungle Swamp, by the way. Jungle Swamp against Sebastian. It was best of 5. It went to game 5 Jungle Swamp. It was Gurjaras Lithuanians. And Hera did a very similar thing to what he's doing now. He'll run from the berries. He'll bring the sheep back. His archers are actually over here. But Barles is investing to trade and kill against these archers. I think Hera needs to delete the house and run back, rebuild the house. You can't lose any archers here. He's still fine. He could just put the archers in the TC. So everything's all about timings in this game. So Barles has the better army. If they were to fight, it's not even close. The game would be over. But they don't have to fight just yet. And then if Hera can reach Castle Age 2 minutes faster, the second he gets Bodkin and Crossbow, he can kill the skirms. So if you have really good command on the timings, which is what this build essentially is, you can beat the counter units. This is a crazy castle age time. Crazy. He did use the market a little? No. He didn't even use the market. He built the market. He didn't even use it. This is sick. It's actually ideal. What you want in this scenario is you want the opponent to make skirms and get upgrades and delay their castle age time. The best way to counter this would be to just sit at home, not get upgrades, and just go really fast castle yourself. What you don't want is to lose any of your numbers now. Barles only lost 1 unit so far. Hera reaches castle. Bodkin is on the way. His eco is kind of at the limit, but he is adding the farms now. He does have this army kind of trapped here. And Barles is not going to believe when he sees that castle age time. That was a castle age time that maybe you could only pull off with the Gurjaras here. At least based on an archer opening build, not many civs that can do that. 1720 castle age time. Hera has Bodkin. He loses 1 archer. He'll kill all the skirmishers, and he'll kill the Flemish militia. He does lose a 2nd archer there. And now what's his plan? Back at home, Barles has house walls pretty much everywhere. He'll extend more house walls on the right side. Hera will go for the 2nd town center. It still doesn't really feel like Hera's in a state to really kill, though. It takes so long to get forward. I mean, Hera spent so little time at his opponent's base. So if he like tries to do any damage right now, it just still dies to skirms. We'll see if he has some recognition of that. Feels like he's just gonna try and, I guess, somehow balance out the eco compared to Barles. Barles is extremely paranoid. So outpost on the wood line, stone walls over here. Normally I'd hate the stone walls, but he doesn't know where the army is, right? And he'll see Hera's on archers. That should tell him Hera's playing pretty greedy. Hera not having crossbow already tells you what he's investing into. And Barles wants a chance to run at this army. He still doesn't have elite skirm in. That'll take some time, but he's running after Hera. And Hera gets punished for the greed. Loses those archers. Yeah, all Hera wants to do back at home is just add that eco. But it... Okay, Hera's castle age time. Impressive. But this is Burgundians we're talking about. Like, do you want to boom against the Burgundians? The Civ with the cheaper and earlier researching eco upgrades? Is that what you want? I guess you can do that if you feel like you can get... If you can match them eventually. Yeah, this is just a full boom game right now. Hera will get relic number 1. Just, Chad, I want you to imagine the player roles are reversed, okay? Hera's in the red. He's fully walled. He's going 3 TCs. His opponent has 9 archers with no crossbow upgrade. And no map control. I know you're thinking something very differently then, right? You're like, oh my god, Barles has no chance. He's no map control against Hera. He doesn't have the 3rd town center yet. He barely has an army to be competitive against skirms. It's the Hera effect that makes us think, oh, he can figure it out. But it's a little awkward for me. It's also weird. I mean, Barles still doesn't have elite skirmishers, so both players don't have their upgrades. Upgrades are going to be coming in just a second here. And Hera has monks around. He has 2 weak camels to protect. Elite skirmisher should complete here in just a second. And then Barles should be able to chase that down if he wants to. There's the 3rd town center for Hera. Very boomy game. Feel like this hill is key. They both found it now. And monks are going to be getting relics for Barles too. Burgundians get the food income from the relics as well. Hera's still thinking about mixing in camels. I still kind of like skirm and Flemish militia here. It's not too bad. I think a siege workshop on this hill would be such a sick angle to pressure. You could pressure the gold this way. You could deny this gold. I feel like maybe Hera should consider a couple Shirvamsha riders here instead of camels. It's a unit that should be pretty good against some skirmishers. He's got to leave some farms. He has to leave some gold. Plan for him right now is siege. slight chance he wants a siege tower. Because everyone's been making siege towers, but the siege towers only get super fast if they have infantry inside, not archers. Game's dead even right now. Like, super even. Res collected. Barles is ahead in some ways, behind in others. Army counts 20 for both. 76 pop versus 80 pop. A boomy game. But once the eco hits about 70, that's when the upgrades can start to fly in and the numbers get really high on both sides. Hera may be feeling like if he can get maxed out, so play towards frontier guards with the extra melee armor and maybe some gunpowder or some elephant archers, and he is the better civ, but you do have cheap paladin on the other side for the Burgundians. Great gunpowder. Flemish militia, which are a pretty solid unit considering you don't need any upgrades to get to them. Yeah, but here's where Hera starts to push this back, or at least attempts to. I think he's really worried about this hill right now. This area of the map is not an area he's going to want to lose out on. Monks are there for Barles. Hera could try and use the crossbows against the monks. Ballistics completes for Barles right now. I'm sensing the Vills coming forward. I feel like you've got to try it, right? It's such a long distance to walk. But a castle there just seems so good. Yeah, here comes some Vills. It might be just for a 4th town center on the front, though. It's one or the other. Hera's obviously building up a pretty big army to come deal with this, so maybe you just have to fall back. Treadmill Crane! He's gone Treadmill Crane in Castle Age. They made this upgrade cheaper. Villagers build faster now. Damn, Doubt, if you're watching, maybe try that next time, dude. That's crazy. What is that? Is it 20% faster or 15? I don't think I've seen that in Castle Age before. Where is it? Is it even listed here? 20% faster. And they made it so cheap. But why are we bringing this many Vills? He's like, I got Treadmill Crane, bro. It's fine. I don't know. Is that fine with 6 villagers? This is really worrying. The skirmishers are hoping to micro down the crossbows. The Flemish militia are hoping to protect from the camels. Barles has Treadmill Crane, but it's only at 60%. Where are the Vills, Barles? We need more units. If you bring 10 Vills, it's up, no problem. No! I mean, amazing for Hera. Amazing for Hera. I have to sit here and slightly question the decision to go for such a critical castle with only 5 villagers. Hera, he realized the importance of the hill. He invested into the army. But, like, I guess because he got Treadmill Crane, he sent less Vills, right? Like, maybe in his mind, he didn't need as many Vills because Treadmill Crane is so good, but that's a Doubt Castle right there. And that's not good. You know what's better than 1 Doubt Castle, though? 2 Doubt Castles. He does have enough stone for another one. I still am not sure he has the army to take any good fights. He's gonna wheel the villagers to the castle? See, notice how slow the siege towers seem? Like, how normal speed the siege towers are when it's not infantry? I mean, hey, maybe he could get there. He's gonna taxi the villagers to the tower, or to the castle. Now, he can't see the camels, right? You know there's some army around, but you can't see it. Special delivery, okay. You can actually see the lower portion of the castle. Oh, please pre-research murder holes, Barles. Alright, he's gonna finish this one first. Hera's on the way to the Imperial Age. Hera's built a very defensive castle. Clearly feels that his best composition is maybe chakrams with camels. There's still siege on the other side of that, so it's really hard to complete that castle. Barles will complete the castle in the middle, though, which is still a really nice hill. And he's getting chemistry. I was a little surprised that Hera didn't castle here. He used so much time. He built a really defensive castle. I thought he would castle here to protect his gold, or now on the hill while he has the hill. I think the logic of Hera's castles is he wants to go chakram, so he doesn't want to leave his castles exposed. But, like, you do also have to secure the map here, Hera. He will go to the north now. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. This could be huge, actually. This could be crazy, because Hera's building a castle right next to this. Taxi's coming in. Hera thinks it's an army. It's villagers with treadmill crane. With treadmill crane. They're going to complete it. Oh, man. Okay, he gets it up. It's all part of his plan, maybe. Hera now needs to build his own castle elsewhere. This castle does a lot of damage to Hera's units. Hera still can't take his gold. He's pushed off this gold too. He had so much of the map, Hera. He had so much of the map. And now he's got gold problems. He's got big gold problems. He will take this. Barles is right back in it, guys. Barles has maybe always been in it. He's expanded his eco well behind. He'll switch into some spears. He's making some trebs to pressure Hera. He should know with some vision here that he can see where Hera's going. He knows Hera went with the Vills, so he can treb this immediately. It just... Again, there's this expectation when you have Hera play, because he's won so much. There's this assumption that every single decision must be correct, but he has not protected the map with this army. He camped the castle, never had a rush to castle there. He castled back here. If Barles goes Halb and hand cannon now, pure Halb hand cannon, I think he wins. Hera would need to tech range units and need to go skirms, but he's going to go cav. Halb hand cannon wins this game for Barles. And it'd be a really nice start. Love the amount of vision he has around the map with outposts. And I love that castle as well. It's a great castle. He's making bombard cannons now. Three castles across the middle. Hera will fight this, hoping that the damage from the chakrams are going to be good enough. But they're not elite yet. And the key for Barles is really in the castles. Once the castle's complete, Hera's units can't be anywhere close to this. Pikemen are throwaway units there. Guys, if Barles loses, it's because of this. He can't be allowing Hera to get onto that gold. He's doing everything so well, you need to always have something there. Looks like he's sending a unit there from this castle now, just in case. Yeah, Hera will be found. Over here, Hera has a treb. That immediately gets bombarded down. He's completely rattled. He's completely out of position from where he wants to be. He has to dive here between two castles to take the bombard cannons. At what cost? And does he get the bombard cannons? He doesn't get them! He only took one treb as well! Can he get the... He can't even get the second treb. Oh, they lost so many units there. Again, Barles needs help. Barles needs help. Barles needs hand cannons. Barles needs help. Barles needs hand cannons. The Hera pushed off that gold again. Hera's out of stone to repair. So many people can get close to punishing Hera's greed or killing him off. Not many people can actually do it. Bombard cannon down for Hera. He's still just so hard committed to chakrams without a game state where that's easy. Like, you cannot have your castles under fire while going unique unit. He's just hoping for the light cav to somehow get nearby. And Barles has the halbs ready to go. Every single time. Another castle for Barles for more gold. And Hera's out of stone again. What limited gold he actually has, he has to invest into buying stone. Otherwise, this castle's gone. 200 pop for Barles. Hera's castle will be gone. Can he go for like a counterattack or something? Like, what does he do? If he tries to raid, I think the best decision from Barles is just buy a castle and drop it right here on his face. It's like, okay, you leave your base, I have to punish you. He's going for a little tower rush here. That'll get denied. Well played, Hera. Hera's got 70 on food. But Hera can't engage easily into this. Curious to see how Barles plays this. Okay, he's going for a defensive castle because he knows the raids could start. And the castle should complete. Hera's now losing a castle over here. Yeah, Hera knows he's dead or feels like he's dead. So he's doing the best thing you should do when you're behind, and you should go to your opponent's base. You can't just sit back anymore. But then Barles could just continue to pressure his base. Treadmill crane. Treadmill crane coming in clutch, maybe? I don't know. There's some raids in the back there from Hera. This castle's denied. But Hera's losing his relics. Hera's going to lose his town center. Hera's lost his castle. He'll probably lose some vills there. Barles can afford to lose vills, and Barles can always finish these castles, no problem. Now he's got Coustilier coming in this way. Hera's building a town center next to a town center right there. Hera gets punished. A very, very interesting game, but perhaps a reminder that Hera's human, right? I felt like once Barles lost that castle, that Hera should always just block down that position with his own castle, and then he can move out with his army. I think in Hera's mind, the best thing for him to do in late game was to go for his unique unit. And so he didn't want his castles to be forward, but like, he really didn't recognize that how awkward gold was going to be in the long term with that castle position. Like, look at how early he built this castle. I guess he chooses to place the castle now, well before he even moves forward to deny that one. So maybe he thought there was more pressure coming in there, but yeah, well played and beautiful recovery from Barles. Taxing in to complete the castle was sick, but taking all these hills and taking the map was really good. I think for Hera, after he denied the castle, he just thought, okay, game over. He was like Twitch chat, all the people dropping GGs, and he didn't like move out. Like if this army moves forward, Barles has nothing. He did the same thing he did kind of in Feudal Age. He just kind of sat back. So Hera can sometimes be a little bit notorious for this. Sometimes game number 1 is a little too defensive. Maybe that was it. Maybe it's a Civ. I don't know. But his eco was good until he got pressured like that. Barles was faster, guys. At the 5-minute mark, Barles was faster than Hera. And right around the time they called GG, they were even. But Barles gets the win. I was just kind of talking about how it felt like Hera had the map control. It felt like Hera had the position, but his castles were a little bit questionable. And he was really focused, I think, on playing unique unit. And when you play unique unit, sometimes you don't want your castles exposed. Unfortunately for Persian fans, Hera is not going to play unique unit in this game. Okay? Sorry to disappoint, but if we see a single elephant from Hera, I would be shocked. It is one of the most expensive units. It's also one of the most classic units, but Hera is going to play kind of typical Hera style. He's going to play normal units. And the only thing we'll see from his castles will probably just be Trebs. So he's gone for the Persians. This is one of his top picks. The faster producing town centers, starting with extra resources. And I'd expect a really, really fast opening here and lots of military, especially because the map is a little bit more open than the previous map. So Barles especially will have some issues. These golds underneath the hill against Hera, this is a night and day difference when compared to the previous map. Now, I do like the Japanese in this matchup, but your economy feels kind of bland compared to the Persians. So Japanese have the better units long term with Cav Archers and Halbs. Overall, I'd say maybe... I mean, I would say 55% odds for the Persians, 45% for Japanese. Some people would say it's 50-50. Not that there's that big of a difference, but I just feel like the start for Persians is so freaking good. Hera, another game where he's going to aim to open with archers. But I think in the previous game, he would have loved to maybe turn it into an open game where it's archers into scouts. There he was expecting infantry. Here he's expecting infantry from the Japanese. So he wants the fast archers to match that. Hera's going to go no loom here? Is he dropping off no loom? If you're up fast enough, it's worth the risk maybe. But yeah, he gets loom. Then he'll go up. So this will be 18 pop archers. So really fast archer build again from Hera. No loom would be crazy because a lot of these builds have been coming in pretty quickly. Ooh, and Hera misses this. Build Disorder says, hey, T90, if Hera Persian douches, I will gift 100 subs. Wow, so bold of you to say that after he's on the way to Feudal Age. Damn, I can't wait. I feel like there's actually a chance that he could do that. You say that now, man. Like, what is that? It's like me saying, if Hera goes 22 population Feudal Age, I'll gift 100 subs. Like, come on. Does it count if he builds TCs forward later on? Does it count if he builds a TC here? I guess you could do it at any other point in the game. So Barles, 2 Militia Drush, which we've seen countless times, knows the woodline's there. But the key is actually the follow-up to Militia. But Hera's going to be on archers pretty quick. This is faster than we normally see these builds, so maybe he's expected it. And he'll want to trade some of the HP off against these 2 Militia. So the follow-up 2 don't make any sense for Barles. This is the standard build, by the way, for Barles. You're at 21 vills. You'll see maybe 2 to 3 on golds. Maybe a little bit of walling. But usually you do see the follow-up Militia. And Barles is just waiting for Hera to go to gold. He saw the mining camp. He sees Hera's up fast. He should know Hera's going for the archers. Hera wants a villager here. And he will never get that villager. I almost bet 100 subs, but I know he might come back for it, so... we'll see. That villager's going to be on the farm. She thinks she's safe right now. 2 more Militia from Barles. Hera comes out for the berries. Hera's first archer is on the way. Hera will see this. I think that's fine. Hera will always fight that back. That's a really bad fight for Barles to take. Half that Militia's gone now. Hera's never going to let you get that opportunity. I think this could be a full feudal game, guys. I mean, Barles doesn't really have a safe gold, right? And you have a choice now between the eventual stable for scouts or the more typical play of blacksmith for fletching. Kind of feels like Hera will go blacksmith, but just thinking about how the game will scale right now. Barles has the 2 Militia running down here. They want to meet up with the group. There's a hole there. Don't get trapped. Don't get separated from your friends here. Men-at-arm upgrade on the way. Barles has his units on both sides, but the archers are there. Barles probably needs all of his units together, and he needs to be far away from the archers. He tries here. Hera quick walls. Now the archer comes in from Barles as well. I like it from Barles. Again, you have all the confidence in the world that Hera's going to make things work, but that's how he felt in the previous game. And like I said in the mid game, it's like, if the roles were reversed, you start to question the lack of map control. You start to question some of the tiny aspects of the play. I don't think the archer opening's bad, but it does give the opponent full control over the game. You're reacting to the opponent instead of taking the fight to the opponent. And Barles will now make skirms, which is where I felt maybe the stable could come into play for Hera. His archers will move forward. And man-at-arms for Barles are still out there. There's potential to do some follow-up damage. He doesn't have Bowsaw yet. Or not Bowsaw, double bit axe. You know what I meant. But I think his goal is to get fletching. And wow, still crazy amount of houses from Hera. So no blacksmith, no stable. And Barles is running forward with this. He needs to save this vill. But if he saves this villager, he'll take no damage. He'll be mostly walled. And then he can go forward to Hera's base with this little sneaky army. The other units are over here as well. This is not a fun position to be in. Because you don't see the flag on the range. You know they're probably coming to your base. And you don't know from what angle. So, nice patrol from Hera on this side. This would be an obvious target. The gold you can just prep to run from. Because skirms don't kill vills fast, then you're walled. Uchiha Mikey says, YouTube viewer here. How do I see MBL's match? MBL's match just ended. You could wait till we finish, watch the VOD. I think you're not able to go back like in a video unless you're subbed, but technically you could go to the videos tab and look for that too. But welcome in, man. This should be a really good set as well. Fletching coming in for Hera, but it's already in for Barles. And Barles will kill off the scout from Hera, so Hera's scout goes down. And Barles, guys, is giving Hera a run for his money here. He's really putting him under pressure. Both games, he's opened aggressively. Both games, he's been asking some questions from Hera. We won't see a 18-minute or 17-minute castle age time in this game from Hera. Again, it feels like he needs to have some scouts right now, which he'll be adding. If Barles ever comes out to this gold again, here's a pause. If Barles ever comes out to this gold again, he needs to tower it, because this is going to get messy. Everything else is perfect. Leave everything else as is and just tower that. But yeah.
Yes.
Realistically, we have the pause. I think maybe there was some lag. Barles was seeing if his messages would come through. Barles is happy to just keep Hera at home for the time being. He kills off the spearman. And still only has just 3 skirmishers here. He's actually not making that many skirms at home, interestingly enough. He's got like 1 or 2 more skirms right now. That could be intentional, but also I wonder if you could maybe just slow down on production if you see Hera already has the scouts. Feels like this army is going to get jumped on now. And so with no, without the big mass, Barles will struggle. Hera weakens the man-at-arms. Hera's scouts are lurking around. And a real numbers difference here for Hera, but also a bit of a micro difference. Man-at-arms were never going to get much more value there, and he clears it up. But yeah, I mean, Hera's got to run forward now. A tower there for Barles. Normally, when you look at this, you think the guy who has had to go archers and scouts would be like way later to Castle Age or something, but not really. Not with Persians, not with this eco balance. Hera's got a crazy economy. And if he can't pressure the gold, he could still get some damage somewhere. And Barles just getting double bid axe, so the way I see it with Man-at-Arms, you need to force a lot of idle time, which Barles didn't do. You need to kill a Vil, which Barles didn't do. And if you can't do those things, or you don't think those things are going to happen, you need to have double bit. Now, that's in instances where you have to choose. And he did kind of have to choose with the way his eco was panning out in early feudal age, so. Yeah, Hera's not over-investing in scouts. His economy is looking very smooth. Hera will still have enough scouts to keep his archers protected, and he's going to click up to Castle Age. Sheesh! That really quick timing. Imagine if this is crossbow and there's a knight in front. Barles could be completely overrun. Like, this gold can only really be protected in feudal age. I think Hera could stay one stable and make scouts too. Maybe you just go light cav and crossbow. Usually people are opting to save the food, but that's an option. Yeah, or forcing repairs with the Man-at-Arms is what I would consider damage. That falls into the category of idle time for me. Barles just wasn't really able to make any of that happen. And I think part of that is due to Hera's timing on the archers. He had the archers about like 40 seconds faster than most civs would. So Barles is running around a lot. Looks like we missed a scout going down. Now, some players, if this tower is placed, they would come forward and they would tower out of range of it on the hill. Like Mr. Yo might be considering that right now. Vivi might be considering that right now. I don't know, like Doubt or someone. But I just don't think you really need to. I think that you can just use your army on the front and still punish this. Hera loses 2 archers. Well played, Barles. But yeah, Barles will see Castle Age, and he's going to be like, ah, crap. That's really bad. That is really, really, really bad. This tower, you kind of wish was further forward now. Yep, there could be knights, and then your skirms can't even defend you against crossbow. See what Barles can do here. Army needs to sit behind the walls. Tower has to be enough. And you need everything else house walled behind so Hera can't go a different direction. A lot of pressure against Barles right now. Elite skirm is on the way for him. He'll drop the university behind. He'll drop a house foundation. He pulls the Vils before the attack happens. As long as he sits behind here and runs perpendicular to the crossbows, he won't take any damage. And once Elite skirm is in, Hera has to respect it. Yep. Barles is playing really well. I don't think Hera can really run in here. He wants the knight to come in here, I guess. Man, that's well played from Barles. Look at that. Another house foundation. Okay, now Hera's through. Can Barles quick wall behind this now? Just one more house? All right, one more house. And yeah, he's okay. But that's like... You know when something like really bad is happening and then someone's sitting there as you're struggling and they're like, it's gonna be okay? And you want to be like, it doesn't feel like it. And they're just keep reassuring you. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. Yeah, it kind of feels like one of those moments. Like, I don't want to be the negative guy, but this is still really bad. Hera's running around in circles. Hera has forced so much idle time on the golds and on the wood line. And Hera's getting +2 armor on the knights as well. Crazy, crazy army. But ballistics will be in for Barles. Barles has still only lost 2 Vils. It's going to be okay, Barles. It's going to be okay. Let's not forget in the previous game, all of chat was like, it's over. Oh my god, Hera, he hit Castle Age at 1720. Oh, it's over. And then he denied the castle. I thought it was over. This is a matchup that could scale really well for the Japanese. Their army is better than the Persians. Their eco, not so much. I'd like to see Hera... It's maybe too late for Siege. It looks like he'll try it. Never mind. I was just thinking second town center would make sense for Hera. Siege would have made sense right away in early Castle Age, but... He was focusing on the armies here. It's hard to have the skirms and spears where you need them. Barles has to protect his gold. And now the knights are on the houses here. And now the crossbows are coming in as the follow-up. Which means that Hera can sit here and Hera can plan on the siege workshop. And Hera also had the knights just double-checking and coming right back to the gold as well. He's forcing so much idle time. This is so much pressure, man. And Barles has done a good job with the understanding that this needs to be small-walled so knights can't come in. It's impressive. It's not even about placing the walls. It's about getting the villagers back to work immediately after you place the walls. Hi, T90. Hera's not getting eco upgrades when he's up lately. Any idea why? Yeah, he's just a noob. He's just a noob. That's why. No, because he's focusing on the other elements of the game, man. He's focusing on this army. He's focusing on the aggression. And honestly, when you spend your resources this quickly, sometimes you don't float res. So he'll start to float some resources, but for me at least, and I am a noob, you tend to forget. If you don't get it in early Castle Age for a good reason, and then enough of the Castle Age plays out, it tends to slip your mind. So he definitely didn't have the resources for it at the start if he wanted to do everything else he did. What does Barles do? What does he do when a Mangonel shows up on his gold? He can barely defend as is. It's just an awful map to get pressured on. This gold's here, this gold's here, this gold's here. Yikes! Hey, now you can't take gold. Alright, he does click guard tower. Alright, so we'll have slightly more defense on this hill. But still, the tower positioning only protects you in Feudal Age. When you build a tower, you should really think about the long term. I bet you he wishes his tower would have been here this whole time. that would actually defend from the siege push. I think Hera can still push this. Yeah, like, it's a very easy thing to do when you're casting. Uh-oh, Barles, careful. To look at every single upgrade. Game's a lot different when you're in it, right? And this is the type of energy that you need to have on a map like this. Eco upgrades are for the long term. If you kill your opponent now, it doesn't matter what eco upgrades you have. Hera goes for the tower. Hera will dive. There's no pike upgrade. And Hera goes through. And Hera just slides right on in and destroys everything that Barles has. Not even close. And Hera will respond. And GG. I really don't know what Barles can do there. Like, I think Barles needs to have a back gold. He needs to have any safe gold. I don't see how it is possible to ever push that back, considering how much army there is from Hera and the positioning of some of these resources. Now, you could say it's a map difference. You could say that as a bit of a cope, maybe, if you're Barles. But I think a lot of it's Civ, and a lot of it was style here. Hera game number 1 was extremely greedy, and when he had the army lead, he sat back. Here he went for the kill. He saw the moments for it. It was nice defense from men-at-arms and really clean eco management. So, well played from Hera. You kind of expected a response after the first game. He ties it up 1-1. Barles just did not do enough with the Drush and the men-at-arms. He didn't kill anything. His skirms got cleared. And he was just in such an awkward defensive state there. So, all right. Well, we'll continue testing. All right. We'll continue testing. And we will find out. We have to study this. Welcome, guys. We got game number 3. So, game number 1, game number 2, very different. Hera, he came out with one of his best civilizations, and he responded in game number 2. That was his second civ pick. Here, he comes in with his number 1 civ pick. He is Chinese, and he would like to do the exact same thing he did in the previous game. Take the eco lead, big army, end this game quickly, early castle. Thank you to those supporting. If you don't mind, I'm just going to introduce and cast the series. And as I'm casting, we are still losing viewers. What? To catch you up, YouTube, we had 4,900 viewers before I took a break. I played a song, which is just like a villager chopping trees saying choppa for 2 minutes. Twitch said I gained 600 viewers. And now I've started casting the game, and now I've lost 500 more. I don't trust the view count. It's... I don't understand. Okay, this matchup, guys. This matchup is one of the most early Castle Age matchups that you could probably find. Because with the way, you win games or you lose games based on the Jean Bay, okay? So not John Bay, not John who is Bay, but Jean Bay. It's a Cav Archer unit that I feel is overpowered. I think it either produces too fast, I think it's either too cheap, or it's either too strong. It's probably more so due to how many you can make on the back of having really good eco with the Way. The Way get a free villager for every single eco technology you research, so they actually have one of the few civs that have a way to pass the Chinese, all right? Now, they're kind of off to the left here. And the golds for both could be questionable. I just feel like the wood situation for Barles is... Well, it's harder to use to wall, right? Like, Barles has the backwood lines, which I guess is nice, but I'm not seeing it an easy full wall for him. For Hera, I could see an easy full wall. And if you're Chinese with an easy full wall, you're dreaming, so... Wall here, wall... He's already walling. Wall here, and then you just play out the front of your base, so... Elendis is T90, making T90 chop a sub only should be illegal. Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. I think having a prime thing next to your name... Nah, I'm not going to call you out. It's fine. I do have one follower only emote. And that's T90 salute, because I kind of like everyone being able to use that. But obviously, subs are important, so... I worked really hard on that choppa emote. I worked really hard. Do you know how long that took me? Let me think. I didn't make the song. My editors weren't the ones who made the song. My editor added it. Ah, so hard. So much work. Maybe took me a whole, like, 10 seconds to say yes when somebody asked if we should add it. But yeah, I think Hera will go scouts. And his map is pretty nice for this. And scouts into crossbow could be a solid way to play this. And Barles will want to be as safe as possible and just has a little bit more work to do. He also doesn't know Hera will be coming from the angle of where his main gold is. For Hera, it doesn't necessarily matter. He, regardless, would probably be building up right in front of the base here. So if his opponent was over here, he would do that. If his opponent's over here, he would do that, based on how the walls are set up right now. T90, the viewer count is weird because Twitch doesn't count lurkers. Yeah, I know they made some changes. I haven't really looked into it much. I've been hearing other people talk a little bit about how their viewer count's been affected. I would guess it's probably just ads because viewers can fluctuate pretty heavily on ads. People like to click away when there's an ad and then they just come back in later or something. So it's all good. I was mainly joking. I don't actually think that people prefer Choppa over the tournament cast. I say with a slight question in my voice and a slight tear in my eye. Yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance, but I don't think so. Right? Yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you. Deer kind of trolling Barles because it gets stuck on the edge of the map. So he'll just take it that way. That's fine. And Hera is like, where is this guy? This doesn't make any sense. But yeah, neither player really knows. Barles is just moving out now. Barles could actually lose his Vil. Hera usually won't run through there because he doesn't want to hit the TC. So it should naturally flow this direction with his scout. And then there's one villager there. I mean, you'd think that Barles could save it, but there's two Vils. Let's see if Hera tries to block the stable foundation. Ready? Okay, well, he's not going to try. He's waiting. He wants to know what it's going to be. Barles is just getting eco upgrades. And now Barles sees the stable from Hera. T90, what are your thoughts on kip checks? I think it depends on the situation, but I think they're a strong unit. I also think that is not incredibly relevant to the current moment, considering we don't have humans. But I would compare the Janbei to a kip check. Also, Barles is weak Vils back here. What? Why does he have a weak villager here? Hera sees that. Did you see that? He just double checked. He was like, wait, what? He's got a weak Vil out there? Hera's definitely going to go back for that. How many hits is that? That's 17 HP. Okay, so that'd be 4 hits. That's kind of tricky. But Hera's seen it all. He sees he does see this gold. I feel like Barles should actually plan on taking that gold. Hera just gets a full all with Chinese. I mean, this is perfect. There's not much more you can ask for. The weakness of the Chinese is if you get pressured in early feudal, and that's not this. It's tough, though. It's not like Barles has a civ that is designed around early pressure. Barles has a civ that's designed around getting those Vils. But you had to pay to get the Vils in early feudal against a civ that just got the Vils for free. There's a reason Chinese is a #1 pick. And that's before we talk about the tech tree or the cheaper techs. I'm not liking the farm transition for Barles. It feels very late. But he's got a lot of work to do. He'll eventually get there. Hera already 10 farms. There's a crazy difference in the farm count right now. And Hera will be fully walled here. This is a combo of Hera having a really good build with a really good civ and being a very good player. And then Barles having a more awkward civ and also having a little off game with the transitions. Because I'm seeing the wood float a lot. He's super focused on getting the walls down and keeping his army active. And Hera says, I'll take that fight. I'll mess around there. I know your TC's got a rhythm to it. And he's like, okay, I'll take the villager too. Thank you very much. Oh, look at that, dude. Did you see the scout there? So the closest unit will always be what the town center fires on first. And he was able to pick up on which scout was the closest to the TC and run it side to side there. That's a nice little runner. Barles is going to try a counterattack as Hera gets a little greedy trying to get another villager. He's got nothing better to do. He's full walled. Is he going to get it again? No. Hera getting punished. Oh yeah, Hera's fully walled. So as long as he doesn't have any holes in here, he's fine. Wheelbarrow upgrade comes in for Barles. Hera wants that villager. Hera can't help himself. Hera is clearly very confident right now. Doubt he'll get the villager, though. It's the second game where it feels like the front of the base for Barles is just a complete liability. Barles, please do not plan on taking this gold. There's no way. Like, I know it's not as big, but take that gold. I know it's still rangeable, but it's on the back. It's away from some potential pressure. All right, Hera's scout looking for that villager. Does he remember there's the weak villager on the wood line from earlier? He's looking for her. He remembers she's in there. Looking around for weak vills, checking the HP on all the vills. Is there anything we can do here? Nope, we're just gonna leave. Barles really hates this thing. He hates this scout. And Hera's going back in, thinking about it. He sees that vill. He wants it. Nope, still running around. Meanwhile, easiest wall of his life. He's on the way to Castle Age, and he's going to play Crossbowman. And if he plays Crossbowman, he just completely takes Barles off this gold. And Barles would just add a scout now, actually. Now, this should mean that Hera actually loses the unit. And finally. I just really got to disagree with the placement of this mining camp here from Barles. But if you play Skirm right now, if you properly assess the situation that Hera will play crossbow timing, and you play Skirm with some house walls, it could be okay. But I think he wants to play Jean Bays. He wants to play like double or triple range Jean Bays. What's the number one thing that... What aspect... how do I word this for you guys? This is a little pop quiz, all right? Pop quiz, but I've said it 5,000 times. What, in my mind, is the most important thing about going Cav Archers? Chat. And yes, I'm wording this in a way to where you could say other things. Okay, mass? Yes. Okay, mobility? Yes, of course. But, like, what opens up the potential for Cav Archers to be good? Nope, don't care about bloodlines, don't care about thumb ring. I don't care about any of that crap. I care about being faster to Castle Age. Because if you try and go Cav Archers, here, you die to you could die to crossbow timing. You could die to crossbow timing. Because you're going to get hit before you have army, right? So, everything you guys said is actually correct. And also applies. But he could be under some pressure here. Weirdly enough, though, Hera is just not pressuring again. It feels like he's hiding this a little bit. And he's also checking to see what Barles will do, and he sees double range. I mean, Hera doesn't have the biggest massive units. Hera makes a knight, chases away the scouts from Barles. Hera has the university, so he'll want ballistics. And Hera will attack the gate, and now we got the Jean Bays on the way. If Barles goes for booming, he could get a little bit in trouble here. Guys, he has no awareness that Hera is going crossbow until now. Yeah, now he knows, but maybe doesn't know about the next group coming forward. And there it is. Now he has to leave the gold. Yeah, so he would have had to blindly predict that Hera was going to be going for crossbow. This gold is an issue. He'll have to shift to the other golds. And it's so tough to get the Cav Archer, or I guess in this case, the Jean Bay mass, when you get hit like this. 1 TC from Hera, pretty adaptable state, though. We could see the second and third town center very quickly. Some people would build their town center on the other side of the wood line here, just to protect it from range units. He's actually building it back here on the gold, which is interesting. And he's just diving in because he knows the Jean Bay takes some time to mass. And he senses there's some blood in the water. And he is just going to completely win the game on the crossbow timing. He's hit too quickly with the transitions. It took Barles too much time to get to Castle Age, and he didn't expect crossbow to be coming in. Extremely well played from Hera, but I think with how good Barles is, he'll be frustrated with some aspects of this. But it's a tough matchup because Chinese are insane, and they got a full wall off, and you're just guessing, right? And the second ranges, the ranges were completely hidden by Hera here. Yeah, this is a relatable experience anytime I try and go Cav Archer units against crossbow civs. Because you try, and you take big damage, and now you feel like you need a third and a fourth range to recover the numbers, and it gets really complicated. But yeah. So all the stuff I've said, that's the caster in me, right? That's the job. But from a player perspective, it's a crap map to have against Chinese, and it's almost impossible to take initiative, and you're hoping for a little bit more luck. So Hera's played it perfectly with one of the best civs in the game, and now he's got to try a counter of some kind. And he is just passing. Maybe he can run through. The only thing that Hera hasn't done is build a gate on the front, so the units could always run in, but I don't think it really matters. And guys, like the Zhang Bei, you need to have bloodlines. They have 36 HP without bloodlines. It's so weak. So he's building up with like, he's got a paper army right now. But he's trying to adapt it. He realizes he needs bloodlines. He's still going to fight. It's going to be tough now. That was some devastating damage there. T90, why does Barles not open with army to distract Hera with it so he gets a chance to build up? Well, because the Chinese are just way better with their opening. Chinese guaranteed to have likely a better feudal age time and more villagers and cheaper techs on the back of it. So that's why I say it's a bad map and matchup for the way. Because, and this is why Chinese are #1 pick. And we also kind of saw why Hera with Persians picked #2 in the previous game. And Hera's taken full potential this civ. Yeah, some of the like really high aggression openings that you have are not really. They don't fit how you want to play the way, because the way you want to play really economic and really defensive to get more vills. But unfortunately, you kind of start 3 villagers down here from the jump, so. But I think if Barles played, if he expected what Hera was doing, he could have gone into double range skirms, and then this game could look different. But now he's planning on a castle, I think, for Tiger Cav. Hera 15 villager lead. And Hera would just hope to get more value from this army here. Bloodlines is in. The Zhang Beis will dive. Try and get on top of the crossbows. They are tankier than the crossbows now. And Hera does have ballistics and Barles doesn't. So you could tell that's why Barles wanted to get in close so he would hit his shots. But guys, he's got 10 Zhang Beis in queue from 2 ranges right now. Barles is rattled. There's no real easy way to really change the game after that damage was done earlier. But yeah, I think from here Hera can play towards lead skirm if he's ever concerned about the Zhang Beis being a problem. I wouldn't be hugely concerned. I think here you could just add a 3rd range, maybe get thumb ring and continue to play crossbowman. A defensive castle could be an option for Hera once he builds up enough army to secure the map again. Barles will play on because the Zhang Bei are OP in a lot of people's minds. He's got like one more chance. One slip up from Hera, because Hera's armies are split up right now. And this is smart from Barles. You have to ignore this. If you go back and react, Hera just wins anyways, right? You have to go forward. And so forward he goes. He has ballistics. He has armor now. Hera sees this. I just don't know if that fight's good enough. Yeah, it's just not going to be good enough. Hera will take the 50-50 trade, if that's even what this is. Hera did end up snagging the 2nd armor upgrade in the crossbows, and yeah. But again, just think about how smooth this whole game was from Hera. It's a combination of him playing at his maximum, Chinese being one of the best civs in the game, and a really good map for it. There was lots of deer to be able to push in. It was a much easier, clearer map to wall up and envision. Barles had to work a lot harder with lesser options in the early stages. And then he also misread the game because he didn't know the ranges were hidden back there. So that was smart from Hera. I want to just show this aspect. He waits, right? So what he does is he sits back. He adds the knight for the scouts. This kind of reminds me of what MBL did earlier today. And then he chases the scouts away, and then he moves out. Now, I still think Barles should look at this. He should look at the knight. The knight doesn't have bloodlines. The knight doesn't have armor. So he's not going cav archers because he would probably have bloodlines if he was going cav archers. He's not going knights because he would probably have armor if he's going knights. So realistically, you probably should look at that and know, but maybe he felt like he could just take the risk and maybe have the time. When someone in chat says, Jean-Bays always seem a bit subpar. Your take there, sir, could be argued as slightly misguided because I feel like they're really good. But you can never, it doesn't matter how good your cav archers are against that type of a crossbow timing with a forward gold. It's like, it's horrible. You should have, if he sensed it, he could have used those two ranges to make skirms. Hold, actually surpass the Chinese somehow in villagers because of the future eco-techs, and then maybe go Jianbei later. Okay, so Hera's up 2-1, and they both had Chinese as their first pick. So we just talked about, I think Chinese are insane. You want a full wall map. You want to be up against a civilization that is not particularly good at applying early feudal age pressure. You also want groups of deer, not individual deer like this. So Hera had a group of deer, so he was able to push in more food. So we'll keep an eye on this now. I think it would be important for Barles to find this. There's a variety of different spawns with how the deer work here. And so you're just kind of hoping every single time. Even the maps are different too. You want a full wall. You want a clean and easy game. This seems slightly more difficult than what I saw from Hera's map. Still manageable, especially if he finds these deer to have a good build. The Romans, I think, are better at applying early pressure than the Wei are. The Romans, I feel, can compete a little bit. But Hera's map is not necessarily easy, too. There's a lot of stuff that's open here. But 5% greater efficiency for Hera, and this feels already like if he wins this game, he will have eliminated the top pick from Barles. He's up 3-1. Series might kind of run away for Hera from there. So yeah, I don't know if this information's interesting. It's just all these tiny little differences. I think most people have really liked this map, but there is a variance from map to map, and certain civs need certain types of maps. And certain civs rely more on food than others. So only having one deer with Chinese, that means you're slower to feudal, and you're probably missing out on horse collar, which Hera was able to get. Barles really need... Oh, no. Okay, he'll find his sheep. He really needs to find like 1 or 2 more deer to push. It could be really nice, but I don't think he will because he already pushed in, I think, 2? Oh, no, he didn't see this one yet, but he saw the other deer, and he knows how the map works, so... So some people would go man-at-arms, and they would go man-at-arms into a follow-up to try and pressure the Chinese early. Hera doesn't really do that. Hera just tries to slightly outplay the opponent with lots of feudal age army. Man, I've seen Hera go man-at-arms before, but I think his plan is just to say, okay, Barles, your civ is better, maybe? Let's say your civ is 10% better. I just got to play 10% better or make 10% more army. Barles will push in the final deer. Barles will bring in his boar. Does anyone remember what Hera's population was on his build last time? I think it was 20 pop, which is actually kind of difficult to balance out with the Chinese. This has to be 21 for Barles. Maybe even 22. The board timing would have had to be a bit better than that. Hera's scout now coming forward. Hera's going to go 18 pop. No loom as well, right? Nice. That's interesting. So you skip loom, it's risky. But the Chinese are normally sitting at home pushing deer. You just delay loom until after you're up to feudal, and you're able to be in feudal age a little bit faster. Also, if you have 4 villagers on each side of the lumber camp, in this case, Hera's got 9 on wood. It's a little surprising. Or if you have 2 villagers in each area of the berries, you can kind of protect from that scout, hopefully. Yeah, Barles has to go up 22 pop. So this is the difference of when he walled, but this is a difference of not having the same amount of deer. Still has the cheaper techs, still has had more villagers, but Hera will have a timing advantage here. Oh, and Hera's up quick, so just a little bit of shifting around with his eco. He won't take straggler trees for very long. He just needs to have the timing on what's probably a stable here. And Barles doesn't see the house. He sees the golds. You do not want to run into the darkness. You only follow hills here or wood lines. And he can't path that way, I guess. It feels like it would take him in towards the TC. Well, Hera looking around right now. Hera will see the berries. Hera will probably consider running through. And he's just passing here. Doesn't see a barracks yet from Barles. Barles is very delayed with getting the timing out. And he does have this villager on the back that's walling up. If Hera were to find that, that could be a kill. But very different builds when comparing the Chinese games. Barles has had to do... actually, he's committed to the walls way earlier than Hera. He's really worried about Hera's pressure here, and Hera's making the scouts. But I think the walls will come down for Barles. Ooh, there is a gap there, though. So Hera can leave. And Barles knows about that, so he'll probably wall that up. But yeah, look at the resources collected here, guys. Hera, who has not been walling much at all, he, with that 5% extra efficiency from the Romans, is close to even with the Chinese. That's really nice. Yeah, he sees the archer range. I just wonder, like, I'd have to ask Hera about it, but, like, game number 1, Hera just made army and sat at home, and now the last 2 games, full throttle, right? It just was weird to me how inactive he was with his armies in game number 1. Maybe it's a bit of a test. Maybe he's warming up. Maybe he felt the matchup was better in late game or something, but he runs through here. He might regret that one. The 2 scouts could maybe get some damage done, but they are weak now, and there will be spearmen and the starting scout around for Barles. I think you have to have a finer balance of military and walls. And this has been, like, big walls, like, super big walls for Barles. Now his eco will start to get balanced out, but it hasn't necessarily been as he would have wanted here. With the eco transitions, again, like, the farms are really late. And Hera's gone 11 on farms right now. Gold is a big issue for him, though. But Hera should know it's archers from Barles. So there is an interesting argument for him to add skirms now. If you see the gold and you see the range, you know it's likely just archers. Hera will drop the range at home. Barles needs to move out and scout what Hera's up to right now before he makes any decisions. Hera won't want him. Hera won't want him to get there. Losing the scout is really bad right now if you're Barles. It's just not a very big army. Not a very big army at all. These farms are so late. So late for Barles. And now he's getting horse collar too. I think it's just, like I tell my zero elo uncle. Honestly, it's just how quickly you can get the most amount of farms. Horse collar is helpful later. But if you're not perfect with your timings on horse collar and everything else you need to do in a game, just build a bunch of farms. That's all you need. It's the same thing here. I mean, slightly different because Barles is like has 2,700 more elo than my uncle, but the same thing applies. Because your castle age time is going to suffer. Sure, that farm might last a little bit longer, but your farms are late and you invested in the horse collar, which is spending more res here. Archers don't even have upgrades. Hera just adds a couple more scouts and skirms. Starting scout is pretty weak there for Barles, and he loses it. And now his archers get pushed away, and Hera just feels so comfortable right now. But you see the difference between the previous game and this game. I can blame some of it on the map, but like also just the style as well, right? Barles felt like he had to be completely walled to have any chances here. I wonder if that's the last two games in his mind. You just feel defeated. If you truly think that you can't compete with somebody, it's going to affect your decision making. You're going to wall up more. T90, is Chinese one of the few civs that Romans match up well against in late game? I mean, it depends on the map and situation and all that jazz. I guess you're right, though. I guess the late game's actually not bad. Because they typically struggle against bomber cannon civs. And yeah, there's no bomber cannon for Chinese. I mean, Chinese late game is actually where they're at maybe their weakest in the game. At the high level, so... But yeah, it's not bad. And like I said, that extra efficiency... Now, this is combined with the fact that Hera has played semi-open and played with ultra-efficient eco, but it's not like Barles has this massive eco lead when his eco's untouched. Look at the overall worker efficiency. It's 80% for both, but 77% for Hera over the last minute. All right. We are going to see the siege tower crap. You ready, guys? 5 gifted subs if I'm wrong. Barles is down 2-1. He's acting as if he's going archers. He's baiting Hera into making more skirms. I expect a barracks on the back. Yep. Siege tower on the back. And he's going to go fire lancers and siege tower. And Hera's base is open. The last time Hera faced up against this, he was Armenians. And he could make Warrior Priest, and Warrior Priest actually felt like the perfect unit to shut that down. But the difference in Castle Age is crazy. Just crazy, man. And the thing is, like, any unit you suggest to make against the Siege Tower stuff is kind of not good enough. Like, Romans should be good. Like, Fire Lancers should die to Longswords, but you'd need to go Siege Tower Longsword, I guess? To counter it and, like, chase it down? So, yeah, the counter is to just make one yourself. But at what point should Hera notice this? See, he has a lot of time. Because he's in Castle Age so quickly. It should dawn on him pretty soon here that it's been awfully quiet. And Barles will have to make the Fire Lancers, which he can only do when he's in Castle. And then he needs to make the Siege Workshop. Hera's still 1 TC, still pretty open here. Farms are starting to expire. Eco needs to be balanced. He hasn't killed anything. Fire Lancers are on the way. Hera's still hoping to get some value here. Couple houses here from Barles, to his credit. Hasn't taken any damage against a lot of aggression here from Hera. Hera sees the flag. Hera knows. That's not a spearman in there. Actually, oh no, it isn't a spearman in there. This is the spearman. Hera should know. And there's the siege tower. Peak AoE 2 is about to commence. I'd like to say it's a surprise at this point, but I don't think it is. There's the Lancers. Hera's running in. If he thinks his army's going to die anyways, he might as well get value, I guess, right? This is before the taxi was ready. Hera takes the Lancers. Hera will take the wood line. I love this decision from Hera. And now there's the taxi. Villagers go down. There's not enough units, guys. There's not enough units for Barles. He wasn't ready. Castley just hit so quickly here. He's got 1 unit inside of the taxi. He's got his villagers shifting off of gold, and Hera just with the timing attack here is just rattling Barles. Barles hasn't garrisoned the tower. I mean, Hera could think about what he wants to do after this, because this army is getting max value. The monk also gets sniped. I mean, just ridiculous value. For an army, he will lose. But he killed quite a few Lancers. He's still got the full map control. The efficiency for Barles is way off. And he's still got a mass right up. But Barles doesn't get in the tower. It feels like Barles isn't quite as used to this as some of the other players. Like, he's not in the tower. You have to be getting in and out of the tower. And now Hera's through. And now Barles can get the quick wall. Oh my god. Hera's just feeling so confident right now. I love the 1TC theme. That's going for Hera here. I guess he did add town centers in the previous game, but that's only after he opened with really strong army. And there's only 3 Lancers. Siege tower is looking pretty foolish now. You need more Lancers than that to beat Knights. Knights with no upgrades, too. Now there again, Hera using the skirms to force the monk back. Now Hera will finally drop his second town center behind, but his eco is looking sick. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have time. You're supposed to mass the Fire Lancers. And you just roll into the opponent's base and roll up to their armies and you hit and run them. But just like the Jean Bays, the theme here for Barles has been he never has the time to get units out. Because in early Castle Age, he's just dying. I would feel pretty defeated right now if I'm Barles. And I would feel like there's no way I can possibly lose another game if I'm Hera. I mean, 3 games where he's just destroyed his opponent in early Castle Age. He's still behind in bills too, by the way. Even though he killed 7. But, I mean, Skirm Knight is enough right now. And I just... Yeah, Barles just... I think he walled too much. He wasn't able to open aggressively. Part of that is maybe just the variance of the start, but you could tell he was clearly very concerned about the talent on the other side. He also just lost the monk as well. Oh, God, this is hard to watch. I can't look. Tell me when it's over, guys. I'm not looking. Was there a conversion? I guess my eyes are closed. I can't. I don't know if there was a conversion. I'm guessing the monk died. I heard a knight die. So that couldn't have been Hera. That was probably a conversion, actually. I'm kidding. My eyes are open now, but I don't want them to be. Ay, ay, ay. Oh. I don't have the time to do this, but if you're really interested, you just go back and you just look at the time from Feudal Age for the back-to-back Chinese games. Hera was up significantly faster, and Hera had a strong opening with army. For Barles, he didn't have the deer. So he was just unlucky. He didn't have as much food with the Chinese. And then all of early Feudal was just like so much walling and so much fear and so much villager movement and investment doing other things. 2 villagers here, walling. These villas walking over to the gold. This villager walking over here. This villager building here. This villager walling here. And what are all Hera's villagers doing? Working. All super efficient, all super clean. And it was kind of the same. Like, Hera never really full walled. He just played this super confidently. And as you lose confidence as a player, you take bigger and bigger risks because you feel it's less and less likely that you can ever get wins. And so I think that's why this is backward sliding a little bit for Barles. It could also be the confidence for Hera, but it's just, you know, he doesn't win the last 2 games. He feels he needs to wall up here. And Castle Age difference was just too much. So game 2. And to kind of feel like Barles needs to play through military again. And this one's fairly open map generation. They're really close to the middle compared to other gens. Like really close to the middle. And finally, Finally, if Barles has been getting the worst maps, Hera's gold looks brutal, man. Hera loses this position in this game, might be game over. Both those golds are forward. He does have this goal in the back. But Hera's gone for Armenians. And the last time he played Armenians, he played the 2 militia style into the follow-up man-at-arms builds. He lost a lot of his army. He kind of struggled. And then Lewis went YOLO with the siege towers and the Flemish militia. And Hera played warrior priests. I really do think, with how cheap they've made the warrior priest, that I think that kind of your long term should be to just get the churches up and spam warrior priests and monks as your main army with this civ. But I think the more standard approach, if you want feudal age army, is maybe get longsword. You can make longsword in feudal. Pretty good map for it as well. It's not like Barles has a very good stoner gold either. T90, do you think MBL could surpass Hera if he was unemployed? Question mark. What type of a question is that? Are you calling everyone who's full-time AoE unemployed? Just the way you worded that seemed like kind of a diss. You know what you should have said? You said, T90, do you think MBL could surpass Hera if he was unhelpful to society? I mean, MBL is not new, right? MBL and Hera, I remember casting them 10 years ago. So, I mean, it's not like MBL's a new talent. I really think MBL's style can work in certain settings. I do think MBL plays better when he's full-time AoE, but I mean, I would say if MBL were to just quit his job tomorrow, I still think that I'd have Hera as favored over him. So, I think there definitely plays a role. I know it sounds like an excuse, but if you have to play after a workday, man, you play worse. And that has to happen for some people. And that does include MBL. I think MBL's found a really good balance of playing well, despite that. And honestly, it's as much as we want to be selfish and have people be full-time AoE, I really care about these guys and I want them to do what's best for their life, you know? And maybe you can more freely enjoy the game if you're not full-time AoE, because that can add a lot of stress to a game we both love. So, but yeah, certainly being full-time helps a lot. Not having to be focused or stressed or expending energy on other things is definitely a factor. Barles building his barracks now. And was wondering if Hera would do the same, but it doesn't look like it. So another game where Hera's going to go for these super fast feudal age builds. Let's pay attention to Barles and see just how much he walls. Because this 2 militia fast feudal, if you do it without heavy walls, you end up going with 21 vills to feudal age behind the pressure. But I think if you're down 3-1 and you might just think, oh, I could wall here, I could wall here, I could wall in a big circle. But if you do that, your eco is really inefficient. Hera will get loom, Hera will click up. Hera will see his map is kind of brutal long term. And Barles will send the 2 militia forward. He does have his target. I think he knows the wood line is here with the mule cart, and then he knows about the mill. But it's all about the follow-up right now for Barles. See how he's changed his approach? He's not full walling. Like, you don't really need to have the walls right now. You ideally adjust on the fly a little bit. If anything, if you want a wall, you maybe just small wall around the wood line to save the wood and get your villagers more efficient. There's no loom for Barles. Hera, have a heart, bro. Have a heart. At least have the decency to get your scout trapped. There we go. That's nice. Nice guy move from Hera. Well played from Barles. Hera gets a little greedy. Hera wanted the villager kill. And now Hera loses his scout. That would have been so frustrating for Barles, though, if that scout got away. I think Hera would tell you that that's not worth the trade. I don't think it's worth the trade. Mainly because that one villager snipe really hurts the fast feudal builds, but when you have a couple extra vills, like Barles does, you're kind of fine. You've got the more efficient eco because you have more villagers working. It'd be worth the trade if Barles were to trade a scout for a villager kill against Hera, because Hera went up so quick. But Hera isn't as blind as you could be in other scenarios. It's Lithuanians, and this is the exact build that you would recommend. And those vills being on gold tell you that it's probably going to be the follow-up militia. So I don't think Hera is going to be shocked to see this. And it's really tough for Barles to actually know where to pressure right now because of this nice little build-up. Honestly, Hera doesn't have a scout. What about a tower here? Maybe building a tower against a mule cart civ is kind of bad, but I feel like denying this woodline could be valuable still. Because if you force Hera away from the woodline, then he has to move to another woodline, and then your man-at-arms could potentially chase and get value. It's also especially bad to lose your scout if you are going scouts. Because you're one more unit down from your potential army. You're happy to throw a scout away if you're going to go archers, for example. Ooh, TC does hit the militia there. Hera kills one of them. Barles was there for a while, so I think Hera was just making him feel comfortable. And yeah, I like what Barles is doing. He's actually playing with an efficient economy now. But can he manage the full open style against a player like Hera? I think he's going to need to place all of his walls quickly. It's also really confident to not fully build them. It actually stresses me out. I have to, guys. Like, everyone else tries to save the wood. But then I lose my palisade wall because I don't click it in time. And then bad things happen. The Hera through with his scouts. Man-at-arms still could get some value. It's unfortunate it's not 4. Lithuanians have speedy spears, so there's the spearmen. Hera getting forced off the berries for now. Hera's mule cart. This happens to me as well. Villagers get stuck on the mule. I don't know why, but it's really annoying sometimes. I hate these freaking things. Ugh, that's so annoying. They're too much trouble. Does anyone else have a really tough time just moving a small amount of mule carts throughout the game versus just building new ones? Because, like, with the lumber camp, you just get used to placing a new lumber camp every so often. And I'm kind of like Hart. Hart, when you watch him play mule cart civs, he'll have like 50 mule carts by the end of the game. He's just always rebuilding them because it's part of his routine. It's a struggle for me. I hate clicking those things around. And Hera snipes a spearman. This follow-up army from Barles was supposed to meet up together. He does have one spearman here, but nice scout numbers here from Hera. I mean, it really says something that Hera's just been able to get away without an archer range this whole time. Right, there's spearmen out. There's skirm follow-up. He has to be a little careful, but it says a lot that he's been able to just go for so many farms. It doesn't seem like he is at all feeling like he needs an archer range. It's just pure farms and pure scouts right now. The Sim says, no problem for me since I don't play. Oh, man, consider yourself lucky you don't have to deal with mule carts. Consider yourself lucky. But that's just personal experience. Some people are in love with the mule carts. I like it in theory. Like, in practice, it can be really annoying to play, but it's really cool how you could customize your build orders with them. So that's nice. So you know what Barles is expecting here? Barles is expecting ranged unit follow-up. He's thinking Hera's going to add a couple skirms. Hera has no interest in adding some skirms, at least not yet. The Hera will come all the way over. And now Barles will know. And Hera will take the fight. Waiting for the hill. Potentially waiting for some upgrades. Hera needs to take it. And Hera takes it. There's the engagement. And actually a horrible fight from Hera. You have to focus the spearman first. That was surprisingly bad. Just kind of expecting that to be an immediate full clear, but that spearman got like 3 or 4 hits that normally wouldn't happen. And now Hera doesn't have much of an army. Now there's a follow-up army from Barles. And Hera had been greedy this whole time in delaying skirmishers. It's just wild. Hera's just chilling here on the gold. He's like, he hasn't come here yet. I don't have to leave. Rushing up the archer range for a couple skirmishers. Scouts are going to run forward. Market going up for Barles. It's way too quiet right now. He knows Hera will probably try and get up to Castle Age. Hera's scouts are running around. Hera's woodline's inefficient. He could leave, though, to another woodline if he wanted to. I think Hera wanted Castle, but he realized it's too greedy here. So he'll stay in this age for a minute. He's making his skirms. He's getting fletching. Snipes the spearman on the other side. We'll go for another snipe on the spearman. This is with no scout upgrades, by the way. So, interesting engagement. It's okay at the end of the day. And yes, skirms are coming out for Hera, so Barles will have to be careful. There will be more scouts from Hera. If Hera took that other fight a little bit better, I think he'd be on the way to Castle Age, but he knows he needs more army now. But these scouts maybe need to get home if they can survive. Hera, careful, careful, careful. 2 scouts going down. He's still microing here. Barles is out microing him here as well. And Barles just has to respect those skirms. What Barles really needs is his own stable. If you get scouts out against the skirms, keep your archers and spears alive as well. You could be in a really nice position. But then again, Hera likes to skip blacksmith upgrades. No armor on the skirms means these skirms are pretty weak. Maybe your archers with the hill advantage could do it. I mean, you're down 3-1. You got to just take the fight on the hill, right? Just send it. Try and micro those spears side to side. Another archer range now from Hera. I mean, Hera, if he's worried about this, should shift his villagers to the gold behind this. There's a gold down here towards the south, which I'll show you. Right down there. He could go there. Dude, how has he not lost a villager there? Barles maybe needs to do a slightly better job at getting the picks. There was quite a few weak villagers there. This is getting to be a little dangerous for Hera, but soon for Barles too, because Hera knows the second he's got a few more skirms, he can clear this, and Barles is just going to move. It's been so greedy from Hera. So greedy. But a lot of it, that scout fight was just brutal. Yeah, now he gets found on the gold. Barles knows if he's not on gold in the front, he must be on gold here. Villager kill for Barles. Another villager kill for Barles. If Barles plays knights now, behind walls when Hera's base is full open, what is Hera supposed to do? Hera's going full skirm into a player who's going to add knights. This should be tough for Hera to manage. This is exactly what you want. You want them to worry about the crossbow timing. Play heavy into skirms. I think Hera should realize now, though, that this is not going to be the long-term comp for Barles. Little quick walls there for Hera. Some weak vills that are over there end up surviving. So, nice clear. But yeah, base is open, man. Base is open. I think he'll drop churches and TCs everywhere and just try and defend this. I'm seeing some signs from Barles that maybe, and this is expected, but maybe just the nerves are a little bit high. He actually canceled some of his overqueued vills as I said that. So he can get his techs. Hera will wall the left. Hera will drop his first church. So Hera will get the free relic. Is he going to make monks or warrior priests? There's no scouts from Barles, so monks would make sense. Warrior priests might be out to get the relics. This is just to defend the hill right now. Oh, how did that... Wait, what? Oh, no, there was a hole, and now Hera's in. So Barles has to chase down the scouts right now. And the scouts are always faster than the knights, so that's a little bit annoying. This is more than a little bit annoying for Hera, though. The knights made it through, and he remembers the weak villagers on the woodline from those skirms. Oh, let's go! That's so sick! That's 2 vill kills for Barles. Meanwhile, Hera's losing his scouts back here. Yeah, Barles will kill all of that. There's also a knight here from Barles. And Hera's still in trouble on this woodline. Hera will have monks eventually, but nice damage there from Barles. We got full walls against no walls. And another weak villager. These are all the vills that the archers didn't kill. So, 7-2. Eco KD for Barles. Second town center is up. Knights are here. Hera's advancing forward with skirmishers against knights. Risky business, man. But it still kind of feels like Hera's farm transition. And his just transitions are looking really nice here. And the fact that there's no scouts left over from Feudal Age to take down any monks is going to be a bit of an issue here. Because Hera can move around, get relics. Convert the knights. Hera, you can't hear me right now, but if you are planning on winning this series, if you're going to win this series, it would be helpful for me for you to win this series over the next hour and 50 minutes. I'm seeing a friend I haven't seen in years, and we're having dinner later. And I'm really excited for that. And if I had to reschedule on him, just for you to win in Game 7 anyways, might be a little bit annoyed. Oh, God, the Knights get through. Oh, God. Oh, he didn't hear me. The Knights get through. The Knights get through. They can't escape, though. That's actually not too bad for Hera. That's not too bad. I think he only lost one Vill, and he'll kill 2 Knights. That's not bad. Hera's behind by a couple Vills. He's still only on 2 town centers. He's got 2 relics. And there will be light cav out there for Barles now as he shifts this more to an arena style now. I was looking around for stone positions. There's no stone here. Stone is here. Does Barles have another stone? Oh, it's in his wall. So it's really hard for Barles to ever get to stone unless he goes for a big army push. This is starting to get kind of dangerous for Barles because if he tries to use monks from behind the wall, Hera's skirmishers can actually kill that. So these units can come in and camp this gold. Barles does have the gold on the right, but he's got to shift over there. Light cav raids. Hera needs the quick walls. He gets the quick walls down. That is crazy amount of houses and gates. And now he's through. But Barles has kept his monk back because he knows about the skirms. Barles really needs gold. He can't make more monks. He can't make knights without golds. He does have it, but he has to realize and shift his villagers over there right now. 10 villager lead. Chat, I just gotta say, I was fully expecting when I said I had a dinner with a friend for at least 12 people to say, "You have friends?" ? Because that's normally the response that I've been greeted with over the years. So, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Means a lot. Means a lot. And if you say it now, it doesn't hurt me. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but Twitch chat can never hurt me. That's how it goes, right? I like the light cav here from Barles. He knows there's monks. Hera gets a quick wall down, but you can garrison inside of the church. So Hera should garrison in the last second. And the relics fire arrows. I still think that's really freaking stupid. But relics fire arrows, so having 4 relics on that hill, pretty helpful to defend the position. Hera with 3 town centers is still 10 villagers behind. Barles could maybe start to consider some stone because, remember, that was exposed. Feels like Hera's going to try Imp here. Is Imp really how you want to play this? I was kind of feeling like Hera might stay in Castle Age to go full Warrior Priest, full Knights, and just break the front of the base for Barles. I guess Imp gives you better tech. Imp can get you trebs. Imp is usually not bad, but holes are bad. Oh, I thought this eco was safe for Hera back here. Missed the palisade wall, and the units get such crazy value. And now Hera needs to run all the way home. Look at Barles, too. He knows there will be monks headed back there. He's looking for that with the light cav. I mean, Hera has to come all the way home now with his entire army because of that. So Barles gets to breathe. Barles does need some houses right now. He's dropping more town centers. He's getting ballistics. He's got 10 light cav in queue and 2 stables. So, I mean, that's normal behavior for most of us. But that's just him over queuing a little bit because of the focus. And Hera is on the way to the Imperial Age. Hera has been mining stone. Hera will trap these knights so the knights can't escape. Oh, man. Yeah, those knights are not getting out of there, Barles. Nice try, dude. Nice try. He'll go for the monks. He does get them. He does get one. Maybe there was 2. He's still under the church. But the church is firing arrows, right? And Hera can just go whoop right back inside. He can wait for the knights. He's getting ballistics now. If Barles just unqueued the light cav that he has, if he didn't have 10 light cav in queue, his food count would be super high, and he could also click imp. But I think he's going to be shocked to see that Hera's an imp. Like, this is such a fast imp time after all this army. Hera clearly wants a forward castle. Barles is currently building a defensive one. And he's still raiding with the light cav. Still getting some good raids with the light cav. Left side, not so much. I guess over here as well, he's taken some losses, but... Oh, God. I mean, Hera could still build his castle right there. There's not much Barles can do to really stop this. And if Hera's going to be an imp, he can just make trebs to take down the castle for Barles. I mean, Barles is like, oh, castle v castle. I need to be imp. Let's click up. Maybe he won't do so. And then he's imp. Like, that usually just doesn't happen. When you've lost so many villagers, when you produce this many knights, Hera's 20 villagers behind, and he reaches that imp time. But now what does Barles do? Still can't get the raids. Hera will make his first treb. Hera's castle's also really close to all this gold for Barles. So I think with Bracer, Barles will start to take losses. If Barles produces out of any of these buildings nearby, he could run right into the castle. Hera's got the better army right now. With knights, with 1 armor upgrade and 1 attack, it's better than light cav. Barles could try and make Latus, but again, the castle is in such an awkward position. The castle's actually Hera's biggest weapon right now. And normally I say do not trickle treb, but you know Barles doesn't have an army to snipe this. You kind of win or lose the game based on the treb push. So much idle eco for Barles. There's 10 villagers in 3 separate town centers. 30 idle vills. And still, the random light cav are just not able to match Hera in numbers and strength. Hera's about to drop a castle, which could, maybe should, put Barles out of his misery. He's already trebbing this one down, and he's going to run this way. He doesn't know that Barles has expanded out here. But he should be able to run around here and drop another castle if he wants to. Castle with 3 villagers initially. He has to break through the house before he can build it with the rest. And Barles makes it to imp, but he's only making light cav. The castle already has 6 kills. Barles will go for the trebs, but the damage has been done. Hera is struggling to finish this castle. To be fair, that's not Hera's finest moment, because he needed to go this way, but he didn't know the house wall was there. I disagree with the chatter that says Barles is not on form. I thought Barles played really good in the first game. It was a nice recovery, but I think he's just been mentally undone because of how some of these games have gone. Hera's the best player in the world, right? And some of these games were pretty brutal over the last 2 to 3, or I guess 1 to 2 hours. And so if there's any question on Barles now or Barles in the previous game, I think it's just the toll of these games adding up. And Hera just played really confidently here. Hera just really shifted his he just, I don't know if he shifted his style, I don't know if he shifted his mentality, or maybe everything. But you could just feel like Hera, and this is the same every time he plays Barles, he just plays like he feels like he can never lose. There's such a confidence there. If you pull it up on Wikipedia, this has always been a really nice matchup for Hera. So, Hera wins round of 16 matchup. The big question is, will Hera win every single set he plays? Will he win the final of King of the Desert? That is still to be seen. He makes it to the quarterfinal. Barles will be happy with top 16 and losing to the former champion, but I do feel for him because the last 4 games just felt a little one-sided. I mean, there was just some extreme confidence from Hera. And again, that scout fight earlier, that wasn't even a good fight. Like that, skipping some of the blacksmith upgrades, like all these things you really shouldn't be able to get away with doing, but he was able to greet it out and just able to come back anyways.